Happy 2024. I hope you're having a wonderful start to the year. And to kick it off, I wanted to share a couple of my favorite books from last year that I believe will benefit you in 2024. I read over 40 books last year, probably closer to 50. I read some of them 2 times or even thrice. I just wanted to share some of my favorites. I have more like this. I had a lot of favorite books last year, but these are the ones that I know I will go back to again and again every single year. First up, I have a book that's for all the lovelies that are on their self-love journey. It's called Good Vibes, Good Life by Vex King. This is a great book. This book is a book I will continue to read over and over again. I actually probably will end up getting the audiobook of it too, so I could just listen to it because he drops so many gems. So many gems. I call it the little big book of good vibes, great vibes, amazing vibes. And I wanted to read some of the gems that he dropped in the book. First, what people say about you says more about them than you. When others judge, they reveal themselves. All right, this is another one where I was like, I can't snap. Oh, I'm snapping. But this one I was like, okay. Before you try to fix someone else's vibe, make sure you're not killing your own in the process. Protect your own energy first, baby. When you're on an airplane, they always tell you, put your mask on first, because if you're out cold, how are you going to be able to put on somebody else's mask? How are you going to be able to help and heal someone else? It's not going to happen. I'm just going to go through the last couple of gems, but respect your uniqueness. Your individuality is a blessing, not a burden. You acquire haters by being somebody. Just realizing that you just being someone that stands out, being your best, truest self, you're going to attract haters. Like there's always going to be haters. Even if you're the nicest or the sweetest or the most loving person, you're going to attract haters. You don't even have to be cocky or prideful or egotistic for you to become someone who people hate. Value your inner beauty. You have inner beauty and let that light shine. Your mentality is your reality. So literally who you are, what you believe is what you become. And then there's this one. One thought is all it takes. You're only ever one positive thought away from a more desirable outcome. You're only ever one positive thought away from a more desirable outcome. That is powerful. And I'm telling you, this whole book is just gems. Like I don't know if I could, but like literally, I don't even know what's going to show, but literally I highlighted, wrote notes, everything in this book like I was in love. I think I read that book in a matter of a couple days, like 2 days when I was working like 10 to 12 hour shifts, and I was just reading it in between and highlighting and going from there. This next book is for the boss babe, the person who is on her journey to be able to build a business, who wants to know how successful enterprises were built and what their greatest assets are, their people and their customers. And so this is a story of Sam Walton. He is the founder of Walmart and Sam's Club. I'm the kind of person that when I see a company that is successful, where the people are good, the company is good, the morals and ethics are good, I want to know how did they get to that place. That's how I came across Sam Walton. Understanding the foundation of what Walmart was before when Sam Walton was running the company. That's what this book is about. It's called Made in America. If you really want to learn how important people are to your business, how important your employees are to the success of your company, this is a good book to read. Sam Walton actually is a good person to look into. You'll see how he went from having a Ben Franklin variety store to one of the biggest merchandisers in the world. A quote by Sam Walton: "There's only one boss, the customer, and he can fire everybody in the company from the chairman on down simply by spending his money somewhere else." He was someone who was hungry to learn from anybody. Literally one of his quotes was, "You can learn from everybody." He's the kind of person who would be inside of a store, like go on vacation, and he'll be inside of a little small discount store learning from the business owner, from the employees, from the customers. What is the edge? What is the best thing? What do you need? What do you not want? How can we be better? He's always growing, always like obsessive about customer satisfaction. And you may remember back in the day, Walmart's logo or slogan was satisfaction guaranteed. I don't know if it still is, but that's what it was. He learned from the greats like Saul Price from the Price Club. If you are from the Bay Area, I believe there was one off Hesperian. I want to say it was Hesperian, but there was a Price Club, and Saul Price, the founder of that company, Sam Walton learned from him too. Always growing, always striving. He's the kind of person who where if you were in a meeting, he'd be in the front row taking notes, no matter how rich he was. And that's a lesson you could learn from the greats. They're always hungry to learn, always hungry to be better, always knowing that they don't know everything. There's always more to learn. Even though I don't agree with how Walmart is ran as of the current day, I know the foundation of what it was important. And there is a trend in society where a lot of companies where they started off one way, but then they're not able to successfully carry on the values and the foundation that they originally had to pass it on to their heirs, to the future people running their businesses. And there's a book called Start With Why by Simon Sinek where he talks about that, where a lot of companies, they start off right, they start off pure, they start off with the proper why, but they don't pass it on well, or they die prematurely and aren't able to carry on that thought, that dream, that vision, and the company ends up either being wiped out or bought out or sold out, and they're not the same. And to me, that's what happened to Walmart. A company that I could think of that's doing it well is Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A has Dan Cathy. He is second generation to the founder of Chick-fil-A. And his son now, Matthew, I believe is his name, Andrew is his name. Dan Cathy actually passed the baton to him a few years ago and stepped down as CEO, giving his son that role. And I believe they are carrying down that legacy pretty well. That is an example of a company that is continuing on their legacy. I'm not saying they're perfect. We're not talking about politics and all that. I'm just saying as far as carrying down the company's values and their legacy, their foundation, their customer service, their satisfaction guaranteed, that they do a good job with that. This next book is for the person who wants to dive deeper into their relationships. It's called The Power of Attachment by Diane Poole Heller. This is not to be confused with the book Attached. Attached is a good book too, but I prefer this book over Attached because of how she approaches and how she speaks about the attachment theories, the different kinds. It's more of a kind, I can't explain the vibe. You have to read both books, but it's just a kind, sweeter, more compassionate vibe, non-judgmental vibe, trying to promote healing and growth. And I feel like Attachment is more blunt, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just I like the feeling of how The Power of Attachment made me feel when I read it versus Attached. I do say read both because then you might have a different opinion than me. And if you do, definitely let me know in the comments. That's totally fine. But I think this is a great book to read. For the woman who wants to discover her inner warrior goddess, this book is for you. Warrior Goddess Training is a great book. I learned about it in I don't remember where I learned about this book from. I think I heard it a couple times and then I decided to just get it and read it. It's not a very big read. As you can see, it's pretty short. And I'm going to end up reading something from the back. It's a quote from the book. If you don't love and honor yourself with every fiber of your being, if you struggle with owning your power and passion, if you could use more joyful play and simple presence in your life, then it's time for an inner revolution. It is time to claim your warrior goddess energy. I really liked this book. I liked what she talks about. I don't agree with everything in the book, and I've always been that way with books. There's not going to be the perfect book for me. You know, there's some things you may not agree with or apply to your life, but the nuggets I took from here are definitely so valuable, especially on this journey of really tapping into my divine femininity and really loving myself and really being the woman that God has called me to be. This book really taught me how to play. Now after reading this book, I really got into coloring again, into drawing again, painting again, just doing things that make me happy, reading fiction again, just being in a playful state because I've been so much in this hustle culture, really trying to lean too much into my masculinity versus my femininity. So definitely check that one out if you're into that. So this book here, You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay, you probably can see the sticker when I got it from Half Price Books for like $8. This book has definitely made me thousands of dollars, and I'm quite certain it'll make me hundreds of thousands of dollars more, as well as helping me heal my body, heal my mind, and things of that sort. So I'm going to read real quick from this book, and I feel like if it resonates with you, maybe this is the book that you can purchase or rent from your local library to be able to continue on your inner work journey. I love myself, therefore I work at a job I truly enjoy doing, one that uses my creative talents and abilities, working with and for people I love and who love me, and earning a great income. I love myself, therefore I behave and think in a loving way to all people, for I know that which I give out returns to me multiplied. I only attract loving people in my world, for they are the mirror of what I am. I love myself, therefore I forgive and totally release the past and all past experiences. And I am free. You are free. I love myself, therefore I live totally in the now, experiencing each good moment as good and knowing that my future is bright and joyous and secure. For I'm a beloved child of God. All is well in my world. From this book, some things I don't agree with, but I take what I need from it and I move on. I take what I need from it and I apply. I take what I need from it and release the things that do not serve me or do not align with who I am. The reason why I like this book a lot is because it also shows you in the back of the book, not just like affirmations and how to heal yourself and your mind, but it shows you how certain organs or certain ailments, how they apply or relate to other things in your life. So for example, if you're familiar with traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, when you think of liver is usually associated liver problems with anger and things of that sort. Say if you're having hearing problems, you usually can link that back to kidney issues or imbalances. In the book, in the back of the book, the very back, it shows you like different, I don't know if you could actually see or read them, but it shows you different issues that could relate to something internal or mental. An example, I wrote down one, liver problems. This could relate to chronic complaining. Then the affirmation, because it's always the issue, what it means, and then affirmation to release it. So chronic complaining, the affirmation says, I choose to live through the open space in my heart. I look for love and find it everywhere. I did another one, knee problems. A lot of people have knee problems. So this one she gave as the root cause is stubborn ego and pride, inability to bend, fear, inflexible, won't give in. So the affirmation is forgiveness. So you want to affirm forgiveness, affirm understanding, affirm compassion, and I bend and flow with ease. And that's what you would say, I bend and flow with ease. And really feel these affirmations into your body. And it's crazy because when you really start to think about it, you really start to dive deep into how traditional Chinese medicine and how Louise Hay talks about these things in this book, you really realize like, oh, that is kind of a thing, because when you heal those parts of you, then these organs start to function properly, or you start to notice that you hear better, or some people, their hair gets thicker, or they have more flexibility in their knees, whatever it may be. But just understanding that stress is a killer, like really know that stress does wear you down. And so this book is really helpful for that individual, and it's a short read, a very easy read, so definitely check that one out. Next up is I think my favorite part actually is the bonus books. I, for all these years, over a decade, have been reading. 99% of my books have been read to be able to be better in business or to grow or some type of self-development. It wasn't for play. Hustle, hustle, hustle. I decided last year when I wanted to slow down, I wanted to have more play, I wanted to incorporate more fun in my life, and I started reading fiction again, and it was so exciting. I am so much more creative. I'm so much more excited about life. I just see things so much more differently since I started reading fiction again, and I'm so glad I did. It's really helping me tap into my femininity and really just grow as a woman in business and in life. My favorite book from last year is A Court of Silver Flames. I love the whole series. I love the whole thing, but the 5th book took my heart. It stole my heart, and for reasons I can't say because I don't want to spoil any of the book. It's just such a beautiful story, a beautiful example in the whole series of just love. So this book is a romance fantasy book, a romantasy book. It involves fairies, magic, humans, love, war, romance, and it's spicy. I don't want to give all the details. I was going to read you like a summary, my own summary, but I feel like if you like those things, you'll like this book. The second book is called The Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I loved these books until the 3rd book. Honestly, the 3rd book made me upset. Some people like the 3rd book, but I didn't. This story is a crime thriller type of story. It follows Pippa, aka Pip. She's a senior in high school and she has a senior project. And for her project, she gets the idea to reinvestigate I don't want to say the word again on YouTube because I don't think you're supposed to say those words on YouTube, but she basically is reinvestigating an unaliving of Andy Bell that was allegedly at the hands of Andy's boyfriend, Sal Singh. And she has doubts on him being the actual unaliver. So she's going to investigate to see if she could prove or disprove that situation. And it's a really good story. I like it. It has a lot of twists and turns, but just knowing that this little project turns into something so much bigger. It's a very good book. So definitely check that one out if you're into crime, thriller, suspense. The last book is by Lloyd Devereux Richards. I think I'm saying his name right. But this book is a good one for people who like suspense and like true crime, things like that. This story is about Christine Prusik. She's the FBI's chief forensic anthropologist at, I believe it's the Chicago location. I don't remember the city now for some weird reason. They basically have her looking into a serial unaliver who has been unaliving many young girls. She starts to notice connections between this individual, evil individual, and something that has happened in her past. Definitely check that out if you're into anything like that. Like I said, serial unalivers, true crime cases, police work, detectives, investigating, any of that, definitely check this book out. I really liked it. And I found out later on that it was like a TikTok, there's a whole story behind it where I guess the author, Lloyd, he had written this book originally like over a decade ago and nobody really bought his book. Daughter posted it on TikTok. Overnight, he sold out. And there is a second book too, which is great. I waited months to read that book, but you will not have to because it's already out. So, well, that wraps up my first round of recommendations for 2024. I hope that you enjoyed this and maybe found a book or two or three that you want to add to your book list for 2024. If you have any book recommendations or books that you're currently reading or plan to read in this year, please let me know in the comments because I'm always extending my book list. My book list is pretty long in general, but this year my goal is to read 50 books. I kind of have a feeling I'm probably going to read more than that because I'm already on book 2 and it's only the 4th of the month. So I might have to up my book goal, honestly, at this point. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. Happy reading, happy growing, happy creating. With all my love, Lana.